we're going to talk about Mutual of Omaha long-term care insurance.
A foundation for this industry for come up on 39 years now.
Who should be considering Mutual of Omaha long-term care? Who should be considering other options?
Really comes down to which company is giving the lowest premium.
Mutual of Omaha is a very high-quality company, A+ rated by most of the ratings agencies. At LTC Tree, we're independent brokers. We work with all the major companies. All right, today, Derek, we're going to talk about Mutual of Omaha long-term care insurance. Definitely the market leader for a long time. Mutual of Omaha is one of the last men standing in the market. I'm Drew Nichols here at LTC Tree with my cousin and business partner, Derek Wilkins over in Atlanta. Hey, Derek, how's it going?
Hey, good, Drew. Yeah, thanks for joining us today on this one. Today, we're going to dive into Mutual of Omaha long-term care. They've been around since 1987. They've just been kind of a foundation for this industry for come up on 39 years now. And they have a couple current products. One's called the custom solution, where you can kind of build, customize, hence the name, customize the plan to a granular level. The other one is called the secure solutions. Is that one?
Yeah. So in the video today, our goal is to basically explain who should be considering Mutual of Omaha long-term care, who should be considering other options, talk about some ways to save money with Mutual of Omaha's policy, and kind of go through a few of the features. So for us, most of the time we use their mutual care solutions, which is their sort of their core coverage. It's limited to a 4-year benefit period, which is what most people kind of gravitate towards on the traditional side anyway. And I don't know, so first of all, a little background. At LTC Tree, we're independent brokers. We work with all the major companies. So I've actually got my 2017 Mutual of Omaha LTC Top Producer Award. Again, 2017, 8 years ago. At one time, we sold a ton of Mutual of Omaha. We still sell it now, but we sell everything. So where does Mutual of Omaha fit into the mix, Derek? What would you say?
Back in 2017, they had really good pricing. I mean, it's not rocket science. It really comes down to which company is giving the lowest premium. I mean, it's within reason as far as, companies' financial strength. But all the companies we work with are, A or better rated. Omaha, a few years ago, they had really good pricing. So they were at the top of the stack as far as lowest premium. And so we sold a lot of them. But over the years, there's been just more competition in the industry. So they're probably in second or third place in a lot of cases when I'm quoting traditional long-term care insurance, because they don't really have a hybrid long-term care policy. But there are some cases where it is number one position. A lot of times single men I see, or if you have somebody who's a little bit overweight, they're a little more forgiving on the height-weight ratios.
Yeah, and it's not always just about pricing, of course. Mutual of Omaha is a very high-quality company, A+ rated by most of the ratings agencies. But the pricing that you mentioned can be a stark difference. I'll give you an example, Derek. I just did a quote yesterday for a couple in Florida. Now, Florida is an outlier. The difference won't be as extreme in other states, but Mutual of Omaha's policy for this couple came out to $18,000 a year. They were in their late 60s, so an expensive premium. The next closest competitor, I won't mention their name, but you should definitely shop around if you're in Florida and you're looking at this, or any other state. Next closest competitor was 12 grand. So we're talking a 50% increase in this particular case for similar benefits at Mutual of Omaha. Now, having said that, I love Mutual of Omaha. I have a policy for my mom. I bought it 10 years ago. So we are not haters. There's a place for Mutual of Omaha absolutely in the market.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of the companies that's been around. Like I said, they're a pioneer in the industry. And they do have good pricing in certain cases, but that's kind of our secret sauce is, we're objective. We will shop the market at the time you choose to look into this and see which company does have the lowest rates. Like to your point, Drew, in combination with a solid company, because you want to go with a company that does have a good financial standings. And this current policy does have some unique features. Like, I find myself doing the custom care more. Because with that one, you can really get granular as far as the inflation protection. I think you can go up to 2.2% inflation or 2.5. versus doing the traditional 1%, 2%, 3 or 5. So, sometimes if somebody who really wants to fine tune their benefits, that's a good fit. And I think you can go up to a $500,000 starting policy value with them too. So if you wanted a little bit more coverage than say a traditional 5 years, there is some benefits with them. You can get a larger policy if you use that custom solutions product, which sometimes we want have clients who are concerned more like an Alzheimer's dementia risk, so they want a little bit longer plan. So that it does have its fit.
Yeah, yeah. Having said that, some of the competitors will offer you up to if you do the right shared combination with some of the other companies, you can do 15 years of benefits. So just shop around and let someone like an independent agent like us kind of help you. Now, there are some unique features, and the number one question I always get about Mutual of Omaha is, what is this cash benefit? So let's explain the 25% cash benefit, sort of just in broad brush. Obviously, the details are the devil's in the details in the policy itself. But how would you explain that to someone who's just kind of taking a cursory look at the policy?
Yeah, so this is going to be an exclusive feature they have. So it's kind of like a little check in their column. So what it does is simply gives you the choice. If you had, say, a benefit of $4,000 a month, they would give you $1,000 a month just in cash, and you could spend it on anything you want. So they're not going to, micromanage you on how you're spending the money. So I see that a lot with clients who do have this. I've seen it used a few times. It's really kind of like if you want your kids to take care of you over Christmas or something in December, maybe they opt for the cash version. But it's important to know if you do take that cash on that given month, you do forfeit the other 75% of the benefits that month. Now, you don't lose it, stays in your pool of money, but you can't use any more of that month. So it's kind of a feature that could be used from time to time. And I guess it's better to have it the option than not.
Yeah, and just to take a step back, the alternative, if you want to get your full monthly benefit, so let's say you qualify for a claim and you're locked and loaded, you would need to submit receipts to Mutual of Omaha typically to prove the expenses. If you take the cash in lieu of that 100% benefit, they'll just send you full 25%. The other cool thing is in most states, there's no waiting period for that. So to your point, Derek, like the kids take care of you over Christmas, like let's say something happens and you need family to step in immediately while you kind of figure out what in the world's going on, you could activate this cash benefit. Having said that, it's a feature, like you say, a check in their column. I don't put a ton of stock into it in terms of, I'm not going to let this influence going with Mutual of Omaha over another company unless the price is really close. I just don't see that much value in practicality. Do you?
Yeah, exactly. If all things being equal, if the price is the same, then yeah, then maybe I might lean towards them. But it really just comes down to what benefit are you what benefit is most important to you. A lot of the time, the most, I guess, important benefit is how much does it cost? What's my premium? That's really where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah. Now, another thing about Mutual of Omaha, and back to your point about being able to tinker with the inflation protection options, in most states, this is also a partnership qualified policy if you get the right inflation protection, depending on your age. So most states have a partnership plan, and I think we've got a video on that we can link to rather than going all the way down that rabbit hole. But
Yeah.
The partnership benefits are available in most states with Mutual of Omaha. So something to mention. So I guess to kind of get closer to wrapping it up, who should consider Mutual of Omaha? Who should cross shop with hybrids? Let's give some people some guidance who, they've got Mutual of Omaha. That's probably how they found this video on YouTube. They searched for Mutual of Omaha. What should they do next?
Well, as far as who should look at it, I mean, I think anybody below the age of 75 definitely want to get a quote from them because it depends on what state you're in, your age, your gender, your health classification. You definitely want to at least quote them. So we're LTC Tree. We work with all these companies. So if you were to reach out to us after you watch this video, fill out the form on our site, call us. We'll send you quotes from every company, both the traditional long-term care insurance, which is what Mutual of Omaha is, but also if you want to look at some hybrid long-term care plans that combine life insurance, and they're paid off in 10 years. So that's an option. That's an option. We can compare both the traditional and the hybrid plans. But Mutual of Omaha, really for anybody watching this, they definitely want to be in your spreadsheet.
Yeah, and you mentioned hybrids. they are getting in striking distance of some of these Mutual of Omaha premiums, especially in some of the more expensive states. So certainly, again, I'm a policyholder, a big fan of the company. So a good, solid company, but cross shop with your other options, which is it's just in our DNA. I can't help myself sometimes. I'm like, let's just make sure we take one more look at all the companies before you apply, Mr. Customer. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, no, good point. Well, for those watching, appreciate it. We do these videos weekly, so come back here next week. We'll have something else up. And if you want to talk with us and, you want to see if you can qualify for one of these plans, give us a call or fill out the form on our site. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, Derek.